Here we have a beautiful little island that I'm on, that I've just canoed to, kayak to. I'll show you the kayak in a second. It is absolutely stunning here, guys, right? And the plan is to stay here overnight. I've checked this little island for ants. We're not near anyone's little house or hitta here. And it looks to me like it would be the perfect fishing spot. Right, let me just turn it around and show you. Wind is going to come from this direction, all the way from over here, all night, right? It's meant to die down as well, the wind. So we're going to have a V effect coming across here, right? And we're at a point, so we're going to have two channels of wind coming across here. And it's right here on this point, this is where they're going to meet, right? And this is where I suspect, if there's trout here, it says there is, there's also char as well, this is where they're going to be. Okay, so, as I said, we are in Norway. You guys know I live in Norway, right? We are probably about 20 minutes drive from Hønefoss. I'm only 30 minutes drive, possibly in total, from my house to here, so it's not very far. And but it's absolutely gorgeous. You're right in the wild here. Now I'm looking at the ground on this little island, looking around. Hopefully I'm not too wobbly as well. And there's no sign of anyone ever camping here either. There's no spots, bald patches where anyone's had a tent. Nothing. There's not even a path where someone's walked in here. I couldn't see a single thing, right? As I said, I think I've already checked for ants. Just looking at the undergrowth here, different spots, because that's one thing. I do not want to camp on an island where there could possibly be an ant's nest, especially when it's this small. Right, and the other cool thing about this little island, guys, is it looks like it's going to be bountiful with food. Just quickly, let's have a look what we have here. I've just been looking around for a few minutes, and here we have blueberries, and these are nice ones as well. Nice ones. They're almost at the end of the season for blueberries, so they're ripe, and that is the best way for these to be. Ripe. Right, and I did notice in the undergrowth as well, in some parts of this little island, there's cranberries, but I don't really like cranberries. I just don't like the taste of them, so we won't be eating them. Right, so I'll probably collect these, or eat them too. There also is another type of berry on here that I am not sure if it is edible, so I'm not going to touch it. There's absolutely loads of it all over the place. Let me see, it seems to be most prevalent up here. You see, it's some type of blackberry. You see them? Loads and loads of them. What else is about this little island? Mosquitoes. I can see when I'm walking on the ground, just with my feet. There's mosquitoes when I'm kicking up the heather and the turf a little bit. So we might have an issue with mosquitoes here. I do have DEET, 50% DEET or something it's called. Jungle, blah blah blah. So that should keep me protected for the night. I do have a few methods of cooking here as well. We have the little gas canister, which I'll use for an emergency backup if we don't catch any fish. Right, I have fished here before, briefly away over there, for maybe about an hour, didn't even get a bite. But I did notice when I was paying for the permit for this place, they do say that they remove a lot of the small fish, a lot of the predatory small fish like perch, pike, etc. So it also states that they put trout in here, so we shall see. It'd be nice to have a couple of char. As I said, we have the kayak over here. Let's have a little look over here. Kayak, the old faithful kayak. It's very, very heavy, fully loaded up. It's like 30-40 kilos. Luckily for me though, I have help putting on and off the car. I can't lift this at all myself. My back explodes. We have a Berkeley fishing rod, lots of fly, Berkeley fire line on there as well. We have quite a decent tippet size on there, using the F2 braid to tri-line knot on there, right? That's something I'll show you guys later as well. Alright, and I think I did put on a little plug type thing, right? But today's trip, right, I would love to catch a fish today, but for me, right, this is my first time wild camping ever. on my own, and I think I just want to make it memorable where I'm going to be comfortable. The forecast is set to be really nice for clear sky as well, right? So it should be good if, as long as I set the ISO up properly on this little Olympus camera, we should be able to see the stars as well. Have a brew, fish tomorrow, and then see what the day brings, right? Because I'm not getting picked up again until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So here is the setup. Before we go over there, guys, I just wanted to show you something. Where was it? Cranberries. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're kind of sour and yucky. Big blueberry here. As you can see here, I could probably go around this island here. That sun is a little bit blinding for you guys. It's very warm today, it's like 20 degrees Celsius. So good. And here we go, here's the setup for the camping. This is a low alpine rucksack. It's pretty large. I think this is actually 60 litres, this one. It has the big brain pack on the top. I actually got this for nothing. And all I can see that was wrong with it was the strap for carrying the tent on the bottom was broken. Right, but that was easy to fix. And you could obviously tell this has come from someone that's rich that's just dumped it and bought another pack instead of fixing a clip that will cost me, what, 20 euros, something like that to fix. Here we have the Van Gogh Nevis 200. I did think about getting the smaller one, the 100, but on all the videos I've seen of people that use the 100, it is too small, it's just tiny, right? And this one, I've actually had this set up a couple of times in the garden just to test it, and it's also a little bit small. Alright, so I'm going to take my jacket off, my weather waterproof jacket, because it is warm here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show you the blue sky. Look at that, it's going to be a cracking day. I'm going to set the tent up, possibly have a brew. I'm in no rush to fish here either, guys. I'm going to fish. I'll probably fish for hours later on tonight, but I'm just going to take this in and enjoy it. It's absolutely beautiful here. It's so beautiful, big dragonfly flying past there. I'm trying to convince the wife to get into this kind of camping as well. She doesn't like swimming, so this is an issue for her. But you're never too old to learn to swim. I don't think you are. Even if we have life vests on here as well, so I don't think that's a big issue, right? And then we'd have to get a kayak. And the kayaks here are not that expensive. Like my one here cost $500, and that was considered a cheap one. But you get them even cheaper now. I bought this one a good 5-6 years ago, and it's done me well. I've got a lot of use out of it, and I think the wife, she could probably get a cheap one as well, maybe $200-300, something like that. And that'll do for her. It will allow her to go from shore to land. Right, so there you go. Let's get this done. So this is the Nevis, Van Gogh Nevis. It is not as tight as it should be just simply because look at the terrain. This stuff is like sponge, which probably means I'll have a good night's sleep. But the pegs will have to be very careful that we don't lose them, because you can see how easy it's going to be for me to lose the pegs here. You see? Tarp underneath to stop the thicket like this from going. Sorry if I'm going off topic a wee bit here. Just see all these beautiful blueberries here. This is how I do it. You get proper bungees that are green coloured for this. I'm just using ones that I have lying around the house. They do a job, and the job is this. They keep the tension on the tent. If you don't use bungees on the end like this, what happens is it will sag overnight, which we don't want. Alright, so that is our little setup for tonight. Let me get back here a little bit so you can see a wee bit better. Nothing spectacular. Little porch area where we can close. Let's have a little look inside. Let's have a wee look. And that is it. And it is very, very bouncy in here, right? So it's going to be a good bed, I think. This is a little bit dampness from where I didn't dry it when it was in the garden. But we have a tarp underneath. This is going to be nice. Nice. Okay. What I'll do, guys, is I'll show you the rest of the gear that's going in here. Let's just quickly get this brain off and I'll show you the rest. Okay, I thought I'd just show you what's in here while we're going along. As I said, I'm very new to camping solo. Right, so I have sunshades here with some paracord on them, mosquito net. On the top I'll just pull these out and show you them as we do it. First aid kit. This has also got paracetamol, batteries, lighter, pen, notepad. Pen and notepads just in case I might think of something when I'm here that I don't have that I should have. Earplugs because I don't want to hear animals all night. I'm not sure if there will even be animals here, but there might be up there. I don't want to hear noises, owls and stuff that keep me thinking, whoa, what's that noise? A little bit more paracord. My medication, to remember not to lose that. A little bit of oil for the cooking if we catch a fish. Repair kit for the tent. Filleting knife, disgorger type thing. It's probably way overkill for here. My Sawyer Mini, which we'll use to get water. That's paper, some antibacterial wipes, antibacterial gel. My bad, guys, my bad. I'm just a noob. Extra bag. I'll put all that back in and I'll show you what's in the middle. Okay, the brain is to the back. And a lot of you guys will know me from my other YouTube channel. I'm not using my better camera because I can't risk destroying a GoPro yet until I see the response for these outdoor videos. If I continue to make them, the big if. Right, so let's see what's in here. This is my puffy jacket, which is important to me because I'm wanting to make sure I'm warm. I do have a waterproof jacket over here, but this is one that if I get cold at night time, I can wear. It's just a big standard puffy jacket. My food, you guys will laugh at this. Get the size of this. This is a 10-litre bag for one night. But I'm counting what happens if I don't catch a fish. We have, I'll actually show you that in a minute as well, because we'll have to unpack that. Inside here we have a spare bag. I'm thinking about using this for my pillow, because we have spare clothes. And this looks like just a heated sock. A heat holder sock, right, and it actually has a chemical heater inside that we'll use if it gets too cold in the night time. Little folding cup, waterproof bag with my air mattress in it. This bag is amazing, by the way, because it helps you pump up the air mattress. Not that we might not use it here, or need to use it. A little wind-up radio, which is pretty cool. I have a spare set of clothes in here, right guys. The way I've done this is, my spare clothes are all put in the bottom of this bag with my sleeping bag, right? So it all comes out just like this. Spare set of trousers, microfiber towel, pair of socks, some underwear. And the reason I do it like this, guys, is because I don't want billions of stuff. I don't want billions of stuff bags and whatever. And so we have a sleeping bag here. This is rated down to -5, which is probably way overkill for here. And that is it. I'll show you the cooking setup in a minute. Because we have visitors coming over here. I don't know if they live here or what. Okay, so this is the sleeping pad that I got. It's called Oopst. And I think it was like 400 kroner or something like that. So it wasn't the cheapest ones that you can get, but it wasn't the most expensive either. And I went and buy ratings on this guys as well, so you see the people fishing out there in the boat, just keeping an eye on them. They don't have rods, but it looks like they have little hand lines in it, and I think that's maybe how they catch char here. Right, so this is a big mat. Look how long this is. I mean, I'm 6'4". Look how long this is. Big mother effer. And the big plus for me getting this was it has this dry bag that has a valve on the bottom. And why this is important is I can fill this up with air, like so. Obviously can't do it on camera. Fill up with air, close the dry bag at the top, and then push the air into the mattress. Right, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you the result. Okay, I just wanted to show you this once, so you get the gist. Dry bag, air valve going into the other valve on the actual bag itself, right? And this is one of those one-way valves, right? So you can take this off and the air won't escape, right? And the gist of it is you press into the bag. You can probably see it. You can probably just make out that it's starting to fill up, right? But it's very hard, very, very hard to do with one hand. And it sure as hell beats trying to do it with your mouth. It's just too hard. I'll be out of breath trying to fill this thing up, right? So it's very good to get a dry bag that can fill up your air mattress. Okay, so there you go. It's pumped up and ready to go in. Right, so we're going to just quickly put this in. By the way, guys, I apologise if the light is a bit strange here. I don't know if it's because I'm in Norway and it seems to be a little bit on the bright side even for my eyes here. Long shadows, etc. Must be the time of year. Let's get this in. So this is it. It's actually really, really good quality as well. Head end up first. The last time I did sleep with my head in at this end, but I prefer being able to look out from that angle than into this door, right? So that's why this is going in right here. And then my sleeping bag is, as I said, -5 job mummy bag. It is very big, but the biggest thing for me with camping is I have to be absolutely comfortable. It is the first priority on my list. Before everything else, before tent, fishing gear, coats, everything else, I have to be comfortable sleeping. If I'm not comfortable sleeping, I won't go, right? That's how much of a basic thing it is to be able to sleep well when you're out at night. Okay, so the way I do it, guys, is you can see the hood end here. This bag is very long. See the hood end here? I hate it when the hood, the actual bag itself, slips off the bag, off your mattress, right? So what I do is I pull the hood part of it up, over and around the top end of the bag. Right, I'm going to do that and then I'll show you. It's just because it's so hard for me to do with one hand. Alright, so this is what it looks like inside. Let's have a look. It's very, very cozy. You can see all the way around here. I have lots and lots of leg room. I have a little bit of space at the top here. This is my big puffy jacket that I will use. If it's too cold, I will use it actually as a coat inside. But if not, I'll use it for a pillow. I also have a thermal t-shirt there as well. Over here I keep the stuff that I will need to use during the night. I have a little headlight here. This was very cheap. A sports outlet that was selling them for like £5. As I said to you before, we have a little radio, and I think this will be a really good sleeping setup actually. So far the bugs aren't bad. This is looking really comfortable. It's probably more comfortable than my bed. Right, so we have enough space here for the rucksack, all my stuff on here always goes inside something that is waterproof, so it doesn't matter if it stays out here. If it rains, nothing's going to get wet. Shall we go on to the food sack? What do you think? Okay guys, right, so this is excessive. It's excessive. This is 10 litres, but it's probably nowhere near that much. We have a little cup for coffee here. I'm going to just turn around here so you're not looking at the sun, because I can see that's an issue. A little coffee cup here. This is a survival duck bag that I bought online. I think it was Amazon. And I put all my food in here, right, because there's one thing you don't want to risk getting wet is food, right? And I have a lot of stuff in here, but bear in mind guys, I'm not sure if I will catch any fish today, right? So this is all my cooking gear as well, and the food. So we have a lot. Coffee. This is carbonara with the amount of water required. This is tortilla wraps. Lemon, onion, garlic, basic stuff if we catch any fish. No seasoning of course. Some dry cooked meats. It's maybe not as much food as I thought there was actually. There's Snickers, a couple of chocolate bars. This is possibly dinner if we don't catch anything, right? And this is noodles with mashed potatoes that have spring onion in it, right? And what we'll do is we'll add water to it. Hot water to it, leave it for 5 minutes, and we'll add some of that sausage to it as well. This is, it doesn't look much, but it's actually a lot when it's rehydrated. It's something like 500 grams plus the meat. And let's see what else. Still not finished with the food. We have some bacon oost, which is bacon cheese. Some stabor mackerel. All this stuff is stuff that I do not have to keep in the fridge. Of course the chocolate and that I will put in the shade somewhere. And then we're on to the basic cook set. And guys, I wasn't sure what we're going to do here, so I brought a little board. My pack weighed a ton. Pack with an absolute ton. Little knife set, board, cutting board. My basic little pot with the gas inside. So we have a few options here. I think that's actually it. Yeah, it is. Right, so the stuff that I know is going to stay out here can stay out here, but the other stuff will have to go back in the bag. Right, so here we have a meths burner, which I've used a couple of times, which is actually quite good. Meths, which is on the side of my bag. I'll actually find a cool place just to put this. Away from everything else. We have a little fire guard thing. I have a I don't know what you call it, a firebox stove that you can use twigs and stuff in. But this little island is quite pristine, and it's actually quite dry. The vegetation is quite dry, and there's no real spot for me to make a little fire here. There's no like fire pit with stones or nothing like that, right? So I don't want to risk burning this little island, so this won't be used today. We have a little pan holder, lighter. I have a couple of lighters, and that is basically the food for here. Alright, so we have stuff in here to boil water. This is just to stop it rattling around as well. I can also use this to wash stuff. This is actually one of these rehydrating cloths. Little cheap fire stove. I might actually get a second one of these because this was like $2 or $3 and it's worth having a second one, I think. Another lighter, gas canister that's not being used, which should be good enough for one trip. I think it says 70 hours on the thing, but we'll probably use this little meths burner for cooking fish if we catch anything. And if we don't, we'll use the gas to boil up some water and we'll cook the other stuff. Right, so I'm not going to go hungry. We have a lot of stuff here. My water bottle is in the kayak actually. It's just a small 750 milliliter bottle. And I didn't bring any other water container apart from the pouch for the Sawyer Mini because water is heavy. So you can see there, that's all I have for water. And I'm right next to water, guys, right? So there's no point going totally crazy bringing litres and litres of water that weigh kilos and kilos to add to your pack that's already heavy. I'm surrounded by water. Right? And so I think what the plan is here is probably to tidy this up so it's in a spot where I can just grab anything if I need to. That's actually a nice little thumbnail. Click, click. and we'll put my bag. There's actually another, I believe these are called vestibules over here, these little hidey hole things. The biggest one's on this side. There's another one on the other side, but it's tiny, because this is actually a 2-man tent. It has 2 doors, but the one on that side is quite small, right? So I think it'll work out better if I do it this way. My pack can go inside the little vestibule here if it rains. I mean, it is, as I said to you, it's waterproof as well. This is actually quite an expensive bag. You can see it past my shadow. An Air low alpine bag, right? So it's very comfortable. It's actually quite heavy though, so this is something we might change as well. Okay, so I think we'll get on to tidying this up and getting the fishing gear sorted. You know guys, I just thought I'd mention something here that is quite important. I actually would recommend that if you don't have a kayak, to get a kayak, because it gives you the solitude that you wouldn't otherwise have. You wouldn't otherwise have, right? Because me just standing here, the time that I've been filming this video, over here is a road, and I can hear people walking around, and I'm seeing the odd fishermen over this side and stuff. No one will come over here, and I doubt anyone will come and camp here either, because they see me here. But I think it pays for you to invest a little bit of money in a kayak, because it's like one of those things where you buy it and it's a one-time purchase deal type thing where you pay for it and that is it, and it will last you for years. This one I have here is a sit on top sea kayak, and it's overkill for a lake, because this thing is virtually unsinkable. Knock on wood, but this thing is virtually unsinkable. And the reason it's like that is because sea conditions are very, very different from this. Here we'll be lucky to ever see a white cap. I don't think we'll see anything, probably. This is about as much wave as this area gets. Right, so there you go, a little tip. Get yourself a kayak. Get someone to help you if you're not able to lift it like I do. And get out and enjoy yourself. I just want to have a wee wander over here, because I did see a wee spot here that might do for loading and landing later this year. We might go in the water a little bit later. It's actually September, right, so it's not warm anymore. But we'll see. I mean, I do have a towel and stuff. I do fancy going for a dip actually. It's nice and warm. Look at these blueberries. Oh my god. You can tell when no one's been here because the blueberries are huge and everywhere, on every little bush. Alright. This is the part I was showing you here. Super easy for me to get in and off the kayak here. And as you can see, as I said before, we have this area all the way around here. All the way around actually, the whole island. I won't cast into the window, cast from this side all the way around. Look how much water we can cover. I'm going to put on a little metal spoon. With a little buck we'll get a fish. With a little bit of luck we will get a fish. I've actually been fishing for a few hours and I haven't caught a single thing. Not even a bite, not even a perch, pike, nothing. Which is very, very weird. But I did experience something similar the last time I fished here from the shore. I didn't get a single bite either, which is again very, very weird. Let me show you what I'm using. I'm using small lures that look like more sealed, right? And I've caught tons and tons of fish on these lures. I didn't bring any bait because I want to try and keep my loads as low as possible, right? And let me see what's the best way to show you guys this. Maybe in the shade like this. Let me just open it up so you can see, just for a second. Just for a second. Okay, so here we have, these are more sealed imitations, which are like a small bait fish basically. I don't want to go in the sun because you just won't be able to see. Right, and these are tiny, they're like 10 grams or something like that. Tiny little lure, you can see how small that is. Most trout will go for these. I've actually caught tiny char on these as well in different lakes, so I don't know what it is. This lake just seems to be a bit dead. I've seen some fish further down the way over there. I did go in the kayak, but I didn't film it because I didn't really think I was going to make a video, guys, right, to be honest. But when I got here I thought it's such a nice place, why not, right? And I didn't bring an extra SD card. Right, so this one is almost done. It has 15 minutes left. I think I'll keep that for maybe a little tad of fishing. If we catch something, I just saw a fish rise right there actually. So it could be that there's fish here, but they're not active until dusk, which is quite common. Okay, so I'll keep a watchful eye over here, because this part over here is quite still. I am seeing the odd fish come up here, and we shall see. But right now I'm having a cup of coffee. We've just made, this ground is so uneven here, it's like I can't find one bare spot here where I can put anything. This is my coffee cup. Let's see what it tastes like. Very good actually. The cup itself is pretty small, but it will do. It's one of those folding cups, so. I've taken my socks off because they got a little bit wet, splashing in the water. A fish has just come up again there, right there. You can probably see the rings. So there's a fish there. You see it coming up? If I had more space in the camera, I'd actually film myself fishing, but I just don't have the space. Right, so watch this space. If I catch a fish, you'll be seeing it because we will be eating it. So I have stopped for a coffee. The sun is super bright. You probably can't see me properly, but we have stopped for a coffee. We, as in me. I've paddled a good bit around this lake today. The first time I went all the way around here, then down past these two islands over here, then back up through the central part, and I did see a couple of fish rising in the middle here, but nothing else. And over here, as we saw before, there was a few fish rising, and I changed lure to a smaller lure to see if that would get them to take, but they still didn't take. But I did notice down here there was an awful lot of insects on the water here, and there was fish there too. Right, so I paddled all the way down here to that point. You could probably just make out there's a point there, and let me just quickly unboil the water, unboil it, turn it off, because we're having another coffee. I did see a big fish roll close to the shore here, and I would say with the lack of perch, lack of bites from pike, it probably was a big trout, I'd imagine. Any big pike in here probably would have been caught and taken out by now, I think so. So far it's fishless, and what's ironic as well is just down here in amongst the shallows I can see perch. I can see really small ones like little tiddlers, so I'm not sure what exactly it is I'm doing wrong here. This is the rod setup, as we said before. It's a Berkeley fireline rod. Is actually meant for fire lines. As you all know about, this is the fluorescent fire line. It's something like 6 kilos. It's very, very thin. And what I've done, guys, is I've just changed over to this little sill here. And what I've done differently here is I've removed the swivel on the top and the bottom, so this flows through, the line flows through the lure. You see it like this. Right, what this does is it gives the lure more flash and more lure movement. You actually saw quite a good flash there from the sun, to give you an example. And what happens, so there's more movement in the water and there's less bling, like metal bits and stuff in the front. Okay, so fingers crossed this time if I can get stuck from this beautiful plant here, that we managed to actually get something from it. I'm not having a good time getting this unstuck, because it'd be a shame to go away from here and not catch a fish, because the place is just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful place. When I was down here as well, I did notice there was two camping spots that looked absolutely gorgeously, even better than this one. So if we do come back here, it will be that second island, but the further away parts. that island there and the island next to it have hitas on them. I don't want to camp on an island where there'll be other people. There's lots of islands here for us to choose from as well. So that is for future videos, I think. You know what's absolutely amazing here, guys, as well, is there is noise, but I'm not used to it. You know, I'm not used to it being this quiet all the time. You know, if you don't make a noise, there's like nothing. I can hear the water splashing on the rocks. You know, I think I could hear a car going past just to ruin the moment, but you get what I mean. Cool. Right, so I'm really looking forward to tonight, actually. I don't have much time left on this. We'll see if I might be able to take the SIM card out of, not the SIM card, the memory card out of my phone and see if we can use that. But this one has the big memory card, so I think my memory card on my phone is small. I don't think it'll fit into this camera somehow. But we'll see. It might be the micro SD card that's in this, right? So we'll have to see. So the plan is this. I want to do this quick because we'll have that coffee. I was thinking about having dinner because it's actually 5-6 o'clock here already. It's probably about 5:30. The last time I checked it was 5 o'clock here, which is around about dinner time, but I don't need to eat until it's almost dark, right? Because I want to go to bed with my belly full. It's quite warm here today. I mean, I can feel that I've been sunburned a bit, but at night time it will be different, I think. So I want to go to bed with a full stomach to keep myself warm, and take it from there. Because I'm hopeful that the sky is clear, so we can maybe see the stars. That would be awesome. First night wild camping. I actually can't wait. You know, from home I was kind of a little bit hesitant to come out, and this is stupid, from being scared about being outside on your own. Right? I mean, I'm a 6'2" guy, 105 kilos give or take. And I'm worried about what's in the woods. At my age, I'm 43. It shows you that fear never really goes away. That's why I want to come onto an island, because I know there's nobody here and it'll be very hard for someone to get here. Okay, so the next clip you will see is a fish, possibly, if we go back out in the kayak. One momento. Okay guys, while I remember, right, I want to say a big thank you to Gareth and Zoe Wildcamps for inspiring me to come out and wild camp. Right, before I started watching their content, I've had tents sat in the garage, never been used. I mean, I have tents that have been bought and never used. That's how ridiculous it has been. I often buy a lot of stuff with the best intentions of doing things, and then I just don't do it. Right, so I want to say a big thank you to Gareth and Zoe. Your videos are awesome, and I watch your stuff, and that it makes me want to go out. Right, so that's when you know you're doing a very good job on YouTube. Okay, thank you very much, Gareth and Zoe. Oh, and by the way, Zoe said something that she loves geitost from Norway, and I just want to let you know that it's not vegan. Geitost actually means goat cheese in Norway. By the way, that's where I live, in case you didn't know. I'm Scottish, but I live in Norway, so geitost is not vegan friendly. Alright guys, so I am back from a tour away down there, and I tell you what, see, once that sun disappears, I'm going to turn the camera around. See, once the sun disappears over the hill here, it got so cold really, really fast. I'm now back into my normal jacket. It's a waterproof, windproof jacket, and I probably will be putting on my other puffy jacket later on. On the trip that I went back down here in the kayak to see if I can catch some fish, again, nothing. I was seeing fish, but this time I was seeing what they were eating as well. It looked like ant larvae. Right, so maybe that's something I have to try and figure out, is how can I imitate things like that they're eating. I don't know if I should have like a bubble float, for example, with like maybe towing a nymph behind it, or letting like a dry fly sit on the water behind the bubble float, a couple of meters behind the bubble float. Something like that, because there was a lot of them there, and I was putting lure through it, lure after lure. I was changing the sizes as well, and I was just not even getting nibbles, nothing. And it's so frustrating when you're going over all of these fish, which I think are char. In Norway they're called roy. It's so frustrating when you go over them and don't catch anything. But it is what it is. But I planned for this, so we are going to make dinner now. Let's see, is this boiling? Almost boiling. I want it to be a rolling boil, and we're going to make some coffee at the same time. And my main meal is this. This is going to be mashed potatoes, and it also has noodles broken into it. And we're actually going to add some meat into it too. I have some dry cured meat here. I'm actually quite hungry. It's surprising how much more hungry you get when you're outside all the time, all day, because you're using so much energy that you wouldn't normally use sitting in the house. You sit in a cosy house that's all warm. You don't burn that much energy. But out here it's different. I noticed earlier on I was being affected by the sun a little bit. Like every time I went out in the kayak I thought, Mark, maybe this time, like take your shades that you brought along. I definitely shouldn't be wearing like these hiking shoe type things here, especially when you're going in and out of the water all the time. Especially in the kayak as well, because my heels are damp from paddling, and so were my socks. So I took my socks off and I dried them through the day, but my shoes are a little bit damp, right? So I definitely need to have like camp shoes, for example, that I wear around about the camp. Clogs are the obvious ones, and if I'm going to be in this type of environment where I'm going to be going from water to land constantly, I should be wearing my Wellington boots. I have thermally padded Wellington boots that would have been perfect for this. Could have taken them off right now, would have had dry feet. I do have dry feet, but you know what I mean, they wouldn't have got damp, so there you go. I'm going to put the water into my potatoes, and I'll show you what it's like when it's finished, okay, once this is all cut up, because my battery is running out now. I can see how this ramen bomb, it's called, you have the mashed potato, noodles, and meat of your choice, or whatever you want in it. I can see how it's so popular with backpackers, guys, because this pot is just absolutely full of it. And you saw how small the ingredients were before it was rehydrated. So I'm going to be absolutely stuffed, I think. Okay, one of the things I highly recommend you bring is a notepad and pen, or pencil, whatever you want to do. Because there's so much stuff that I would change now compared to what I brought with me. Right, so, and a lot of it is simple things like, I've already talked about things like Wellington boots. I should bring, when I'm in a wet environment, that's what I should bring. Use your brain, Mark, use your brain. Right, the other things is, do I really need 2 cook sets? No, I don't. Right, so this is just something that's going to be personal preference. Could I have gotten away with just the meth stove today? Yes. So do I really need to bring the gas? The gas is very handy just for turning on and off, because this is my 5th cup of coffee today. It's very handy for switching on and off very fast, but I could do it with the meths as well, that's the same. Right, so I've carried double the amount of cooking stuff that I needed to, right, so that's something I have to change. Cooking stuff, cooking utensils. I must have brought at least 3 spoons, 3 knives, 2 forks, right, and all along I'm thinking, all I really need is a sharp knife and a long handled spoon, and that is it. I brought all this extra stuff again, right, so that's something else I would change, right, so this is a great thing. As you're going along, write it down. One of the ones I wished I had today was a small kitchen towel, and that's because there's been so many times I've needed to wipe my hands, whether it be bits of mashed potato or something else I'm doing, and I just haven't had anything to wipe my hands on. I don't want to use this microfiber cloth, right, and this is why I'm saying you have to decide what you're going to do, right. Am I going to go in the water today? No. Could I have went in? Yeah, possibly, but it's getting a little bit cold. Right, so do I really need this microfiber towel? No. Do I need a kitchen towel? Yes. What's the difference? One is much smaller than the other, that's the big difference. Let me just quickly turn this off. We'll have another brew. Right, so this is my first wild camp ever, and so far I've really enjoyed it. It's a pity the fishing wasn't a little bit better, but it's been good so far. It's well exceeded my expectations. I honestly thought I was going to be bored. Right, so it gives you lots of time to think with things, how you could do it better, and it becomes very enjoyable. Right, so I don't know what you're going to see next. We might say good night next, we might not. Okay guys, before I go, I just wanted to say goodnight. I wanted to show you this beautiful scenery before the battery in this camera cuts out. See you in the morning. Good morning. Well, I made it through the night. I only woke up maybe 2 or 3 times. For my first night while camping, I thought it went quite well. There was moments in the night where I just sat here like wondering what was outside. You know, every little rustle, every little patter on the roof. The odd teeny bit of branch must have broken off the tree because it was a little bit windy last night. And you know, it was comfortable sleep. This mattress was very comfortable. I was warm in this bag. I do though have, if I can find it, a heat pack here that is a 3D 46 degrees Celsius heat pack, so I've been snug as a bug in a rug in this sleeping bag all night. Actually dreamt quite well as well. I don't have a proper pillow, and that was an issue. My neck was kind of getting sore, so that is something that is ordered. I have a Trekology inflatable pillow coming, and there's quite a good way you can do it with if you have the mummy type sleeping bag. You can actually put the pillow in the head part of the mummy bag so it can't go all over the place. I had my jacket in there last night and it was just meh, but it was an okay sleep. Very happy to got this first one under my belt, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day outside. I'm having coffee. We're about to run out of power. I can see you're steaming up a little bit. I'm about to run out of power. I've just had breakfast, some tortilla with some cream oust that it doesn't have to be in the fridge. Look at that for a view in the morning. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video. Okay? I just want to say a big thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll catch me with the next video. Bye.